Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. Okay, so we made it to the end of the week. What do we get to do this weekend? Make your preparations to be invaded. Not by Russia, not by China, not by illegals, but by liberals. Okay? Yeah, the people from the city now are trying to figure out how to get out of these shitholes that they have turned their cities into, and now they are trying to escape because, oh my God, housing's so expensive, crime's up so much, there aren't any jobs here. I need to move out to the country. Okay. Not a whole lot of liberals usually last long in the country. Okay. There isn't a Starbucks around for them to go to that's nearby. There aren't a whole lot of electric car charging places out in the country. Like none. Okay. But there was an interesting story that came out last night. I saw this morning, it was even picked up by Alex Jones, that the search on the internet for living off the grid has hit its highest point that it's been in 5 years. Yeah, okay. People are realizing, oh my God, this place is a hellhole. I have to get out of here. Where can I go? Electricity's too expensive. Housing's too expensive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so they're like, I've got to do something. The problem that they don't realize is the reason we have those problems, like I talked about yesterday, is that they caused them in the first place, okay? Going out in the country and living a little peaceful life isn't going to change if you keep thinking, Joe Biden's a saint. He's got my best interests in mind. Okay? Living off grid is great, unless you're an environmentalist. Okay? Because, oh my God, in order to build a house, I have to cut down trees. In order to eat, I've got to shoot Bambi. That sort of stuff. Oh, I can't move there. I'll upset the ecological system of the brown spotted flea that's in the yard there. Right. Okay. So reading this story, the places that people are moving to or are looking to move to, the top 5, kind of interesting. 1 through 5. Oregon, Missouri, Colorado, Tennessee, Arizona. Interesting mix for sure. Okay. Notice you don't hear Texas. Notice you don't hear Florida in there. Okay, which is where the people from the cities are running to because, oh my God, taxes are better, right? Tennessee, obviously, taxes are better too. But why are they looking at these states? Well, Oregon. Okay, if you get rid of Portland and all the idiots that live there, the rest of Oregon's pretty nice. It's actually also pretty conservative once you get away from the coast. Okay, hence the reason they all want to join Idaho, which might be a mistake because Idaho's flipping blue fast. Where are all those people coming from? Those would be Californians, right? Gee, we'll go up to Oregon. It won't be as expensive. We won't have all of Gavin Newsom's taxes. We won't have all of Gavin Newsom's homeless problems, et cetera, et cetera. Except they forget to realize they're the ones that put Gavin Newsom in the first place. Okay. Now, not saying there's not a bunch of conservatives in California, because about 1/3 of the state voted for Trump in 2020, supposedly. Okay. Only 1/3. But I'm thinking that if you are a conservative in California and you're looking for a place to get out, Oregon's probably not on your list. So, yeah, I'd say those are liberals. Number 2, Missouri. The Ozarks, pretty much my guess, is where people are going there. And that would be probably the majority of your Midwestern conservatives heading that way. It's not like Missouri has any chance of tipping blue anytime soon. Liberals probably not going to be welcomed with open arms out there. Okay. Colorado being number 3, again, enjoy your influx of liberal Californians. Beautiful state, no question. Okay, but take Colorado Springs, take Denver, and the liberals have flipped that blue 20 years ago and have destroyed the economy out there. Colorado is extremely expensive to live in. Okay? Those of you that live there can agree with me. I lived in Colorado 40 years ago for a summer. Okay, it Beautiful. I remember literally, I parked my car in the spring, rode a horse the entire summer, got in my car in the fall, and went back to the Midwest and went to college. That was what I did after high school. Beautiful area. Elizabeth, Colorado, if any of you guys live out there and know that area. Granted, I'm talking about what it was like 40 years ago. Probably now it's all subdivisions or something like that. But just saying. Okay. Tennessee being number 4. This one doesn't surprise me at all because I live in the country in Tennessee. The funny part is I'm watching land get bought like crazy. When I bought my house in 2019, it sat on the market for nearly 3 years before anybody bought it. Okay. It was at the time, it was 2 acres. The house is the house, da 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 da. And I think I told you guys we got the place for $217,500. Okay. 2 acres and a house, septic, well, everything like that already in. We're fine. Last week, there was a property that's about 3/4 of a mile away from me. Now, granted, it's on the lake, okay, where I am not. I've got to walk for 3 minutes to get to the lake, but that is lake access to it. That is 2.5 acres that sold for $300,000. Mrs. P and I were out driving through, I can't say town, but driving through the area here a week or so ago, and we went past this one house that had a for sale sign up to it. It was nowhere near the lake. It was in the mountains, had beautiful views, had acreage, okay, but it was all mountain acreage, okay, so it was very sloped. There wasn't a whole lot of quote unquote usable acreage. It had a manufactured home on it that was built in the 70s. It's going for $900,000. Okay. Yeah, people want to move to Tennessee. You better have a big wallet. Just telling you. Okay. And the 5th one, of course, is Arizona, which guess who's moving there again? Californians. Okay. There's your rundown of where everybody's going. But congratulations to all of us for being on the forefront of getting out of, how do you even want to put this? The idiotic civilization and going back to live the way God intended us to. You know, the most interesting part of reading this article, a lot of times it's about reading any article, is reading the comments, okay? And it's always funny, no matter where you read this stuff, because you have a mix of conservatives and liberals in there, and this one's no different. A lot of conservative comments under this. I did this 20 years ago. You know, if you're willing to put the work in, yada, 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 you know, you can get it done. The liberal comments. There's no way I could do this. I couldn't live without this. It's too much work. Or then every excuse that you hear. Oh, sure, you know, you want to do this, but as soon as everything goes up in fire, you're in trouble. Or, oh, you'll get sick and tired of driving an hour to town every time you have to do it. Okay? Excuses, excuses, excuses. You know, excuses are like assholes, and liberals are assholes. So we got it. Liberals and excuses are synonymous. But this is just a pat on the back for all of you guys, because now we're seeing a little bit more people who called us tinfoil wearing hat conspiracy theorist wackos for how many years? Well, why are you prepping? I'll just come take yours, right? How many times you heard all that? And now all of a sudden they're like, maybe I should do that too. Can you help me? There was a comment that I thought was kind of funny. It was a older person. They said they were in their 70s, okay, who he had built, or she, I don't know gender, you know, how they identify even, but I'm guessing biologically, but talking about how they had been living out in the sticks for 20 years, and how he had built everything that he had, okay, to the point of permaculture gardening and, raising his livestock and, building every alternate ways to pump water, and so he was contacted by some organization that wondered if he would teach younger people his way of life. Okay, and it kind of reminded me of Eustace Conway on Mountain Men, watching or listening or reading this story. And the guy said, "Yeah, it was an absolute disaster." He said somebody killed one of his prized goats for feeding it moldy hay. Somebody was using a $300 cordless drill he had as a hammer. That's what you're going to get. Okay, the people who going off grid is a fad, kind of like transgenderism is a fad, how I want to identify today. It's kind of like a pet rock or, bell bottoms or anything like that. Once the fad's over, everybody will stop. Living off grid, I won't even go that far. I'll just say living out in the country isn't for everyone. I think you all agree with me. Some people can do it. Some people can't. Some people just are not cut out for the work it takes to maintain a homestead, even a small one. Okay? I'm not talking about financially, because it can get expensive. To get started, yeah, it's expensive. But they don't have the mindset to do it. When we've raised 2 generations of pussies, basically, who don't know the difference between a hammer and a drill, how in the world, I'm afraid of guns. How in the world are they going to survive out here? Here's a shovel. You need to go dig a hole so you can get water or whatever it would be. Well, that's too much work. Can't I just hire somebody? That's the liberal mindset, okay? They want everything. They want somebody else to do it for them. And they wonder why none of us think they will survive. I laugh when you watch or listen to some of these liberal channels on YouTube trying to figure out how to plant a tomato seed. I mean, literally, how difficult is that? Oh, I didn't realize I needed to keep it wet. I thought I just watered it once and that was it. I planted a tomato. Why don't I have 40 pounds of tomatoes already? I mean, this is the thought process they have. So when you're walking around your property, your house, whether it's your apartment, whatever it would be, this weekend, and doing what you do, okay? Pat yourself on the back for having the foresight to do what a lot of other people seem to be waking up that, maybe I should do it, because when mortgage rates are at 20-year highs at 7.3%, this is always the time that I want to go, you know what, maybe now would be the time to move. When housing prices are at their highest they've been in over 30 years, not on a dollar basis, on a percentage basis, that's the time I want to go look for a new house. When the stock market hits new highs, that's when I want to buy, right? That's their mindset, okay? They can't think for themselves. They have no foresight, cannot think past the tip of their nose. They'll follow the crowd. Mind you, everybody else is identifying as a cat. Maybe I'll do it too. Everybody else is realizing that Biden completely screwed the country. Maybe I'll do it too. The funny part is, you go out in the country and find anybody. I would venture to bet that 99% of the people that live in Sharps Chapel, where I live, okay, own a gun. I'd be very hard-pressed to find anybody out here that doesn't. For personal protection, for animal protection, for just the way East Tennessee is. Bring a liberal out here. I'm afraid of guns. You'll last about 3 days. The for sale sign will come down, and the next week it'll be up. This is laughable to see this story, to listen to who's going to come out. They're going to try. Just pay attention to your surrounding areas. You know, when you're driving around this weekend, because that's usually when people go house hunting or property hunting, watch those cars. Not that there are many that have Biden-Harris stickers on them anyway. But keep an eye out. When you see somebody in skinny jeans out in the country, somebody with, a Black Lives Matter sticker on their car, or what's the one? Coexist. That one I love. Laugh, because offer to answer some questions and just tell them flat out, nah, you know what? This place is really conservative. We don't take kindly to liberals being here whatsoever. The last one that was here lived here for 3 days. Protect what you have that way, too. Pay attention to your surroundings, because you're going to get invaded. And it ain't the kind of people that you want in your neighborhood. Pinball out.